All right, so went to the store today and got some different Permatex gasketing material. So we got the water pump thermostat housing, RTV silicone. Looks like it should work for my purpose. And I also, while I was there, I picked up two of these because they're smaller, and that's the only thing they had. And then I also got this ultra blue multi-purpose gasket maker. On the back or somewhere, maybe it was online, it said something about it was good for water pumps or coolant lines. So that's what we're going to use for these gaskets for the water pipes. And so what I've done is I've gone ahead and cleaned up all the threads in here and the gasket surfaces. This is the new thermostat. So I'll to the side real quick. So you can see that I have all the gasket surfaces cleaned up. Basically, they're cleaned up as best they can. Any residual there is just scaling on the metal. I don't think it'll really impact much. I've gotten all the old gasket material off there and stuff. What I also did is I took, this is just kind of a comment to anybody, always makes your life so much easier if you take, I spent almost an hour out here. I took and I cleaned up all the bolts. There's what the bolts look like when they started. You see how they're all crusty and everything, all the threads. What I did is I just stood in front of a wire wheel and took all the bolts. That way I keep some patina of the machine, because I think I've expressed my hatred for painting numerous times. It's just not something I like to do. And so I've gone ahead and I've cleaned up the threads on all the bolts, and then I've also used a tap and I've actually chased all the threads. That way they can go in really easy, and I just take a tap and I've just chased all the threads to get all the rust and debris and grime out. Then I've gone ahead and taken and shot some brake clean down in there to get all of the debris, metal filings, whatnot out of the bottom. Really, it makes these a lot nicer to screw in and out. You can see I can do it with one hand, whereas before, with these up here, when you hear them squeaking, that's as far as I'm going to go in. You can see all these. I've got them screwed all the way in. This is a prepared gasket surface there. So I've got the gasket surfaces prepared on all four surfaces for the two water pipes. The two on the radiator and then the two on the block. Next, I need to start working on the surface down for the water pump. The water pump, I got the first coat of primer on it, and then for some reason I wasn't paying attention today, and I was going to go to Deere because I've done all the lawn and garden stuff, and I was just thinking, I'll paint it. Well, no, because this machine has the classic green on it. It's not the ag and consumer equipment green. So I don't have any classic green to paint the water pump, and I'm just anal retentive enough to, even though this machine's not getting a full repaint, I need to go ahead and paint it the correct color or it will aggravate me. And I got to Deere this afternoon about 12:05, and I thought they closed at 2:30, but they don't close. They close on Saturdays at noon. So I didn't get my paint today, so it'll be at least next weekend before I install the water pump, but I'll get all the surfaces cleaned up and whatnot. And then hopefully next weekend, barring any unforeseen complications, I can go ahead and fill the, looks like the weather's going to be halfway decent, so I can go ahead and fill the radiator and let her run for a little bit, hopefully. See how the repair worked, monitor the temperature and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get the water pump surfaces, that gasket surface cleaned up down there and whatnot, chase those threads, and then I'll also I'll go ahead and chase these for the air cleaner, just because they're going to be harder to get to once I get the water pipes on, once I get the water pipes on. So I think that's about it for right now. Not all that interesting, really. I'm not one to really let the camera record while I'm doing work, because that'll probably, most people will find boring. Or at least I would think they would. If you want to see more videos of action, let me know and I'll be sure to kind of post them up. But I think for the most part, talking through everything might be a little bit better. Certainly shorter time consumption. I'm not one lonely farmer. I like the way he does his videos, but being a one-man show, I don't have anybody to talk to, and I get distracted real easy. So I oftentimes wander away from the camera for a while if I was going to do that. So anyway, thanks for watching. If I make any more progress, I think could go in this video, I will put it on here.